Hi guys. Sorry about the light. My name's Jennifer, for anyone who doesn't know me. And I've been talking to some people in the last couple of days, reading all the posts about triggers and anxiety and all that. So trigger warning for anyone out there. A lot of discussion of people wondering if maybe this group is for them or not, due to some of the things that do happen or discussed. And I do agree with kind of both of it. Some of the stuff that I have read, can add more to the trigger and all that. I personally don't think a lot of people are doing it on purpose. They're not trying to look for pity. It's how I think some people reach out for hope and for support and some comfort. And I've definitely been down that road a few times. Actually, I can say my worst support probably would have came actually from the hospital itself. I was suicidal. I called into the mental health hospital, and they said, yeah, to come on in. It wasn't my first trip around, so I kind of prepared and had a bag packed and went in and got to meet the mental illness nurse liaison, which didn't go very well. Some of you know the story. From the start, I was treated differently, as in, why do you have your bag packed? Are you staying or going? And it continued, which just made me worse, to the point where I was crying, bawling, snot coming out of my nose, gross stuff. And I asked her for a tissue, and she looked at me and said, tissues hold bacteria, and she watched me have to blow my nose into my own gloves and jacket. At that point, she left. I was at the breaking point of leaving the hospital and never coming back and doing something terribly I wouldn't be standing here, in other words. Blood work was given, and if it wasn't for not having a ride home, like I said, I wouldn't be here. It took one good nurse who happened to see me trying to leave that sat me down and held my hand and said that she would be there for me. I stayed for about a week with lots of help and support on the floor. It was eye-opening and amazing of the understanding of other people who have different types of mental illness, of how we all got along in one way or another, and how being there for each other to discuss our good, our bad, our angry, our crying, made us feel better. And we were close. I haven't been back in the hospital since January. It's taken about 4 or 5 times of different meds mixed with different things to see what works. I see my psychiatrist. I see my therapist once a week. I read a lot of info online of help with mental illness and depression groups, including this one. Yes, like I said, some of the stuff is hard to read, and on bad days it hits me in very, very, very hard days. But I must say, most part of this group is understanding and are there for each other and to help in any support you want it. I've met some really good people on here, and I'm here for if they need to cry, if they want someone to yell at, to get things off their chest, or they just want to listen to me talk for hours, if that's what calms them down. And I'll be here for that. I'm not going to say that it's not a struggle every day for me. Actually, it's getting pretty worse for me. My separated husband that I have a share 15-year-old son with is dying of cancer. Maybe weeks to live. This is not for pity. This is just to show another level of stress on me. Do I hate cancer? Oh, hell yeah. I tell cancer to go fuck itself, excuse the language, in 2 seconds flat. And it was only last night where I sat and bawled my eyes out for 3 hours wondering how I'm going to raise my son on my own. And I start scrolling through your guys' comments. And the good things, the pictures, the videos, the music that you all put on there does put a smile on my face. And like I said, it's definitely hard. A lot of people have different trigger points. And it could be anything. Food, music, smell, seeing the way somebody looks. We all have those triggers. And we have to support each other and to tread lightly and, work out these trigger issues and to be open and honest with each other. Because that's what makes this group one of the best out there, is having that open communication with each other. You're not disrespecting anybody, but, you say, hey, sorry or about this, but, this kind of touches me in a way that makes me uncomfortable and all that. And, we're all not going to stop it. There's going to be days you're probably going to see me with bad things written down because I've had my limit for the day or for the week, and I just snap and I lose it. And I've experienced a lot of stuff, so, I understand. But I just want to send out there to everybody that, if we come together like we did at the beginning with this group and be there and understand each other's struggles, because we all have different ones, but we all have one goal in mind, and that's to get rid of this, to overcome this, to educate other people on all kinds of mental illness, for us to come together and join the one and be that strong voice and not hide mental illness in the dark like it has been. It needs to be open. People need to understand what we are going through, and in the process we're going to learn to understand each other. It's a long road. I've been on it for a long time. Still. And each day I open my eyes. It's that struggle. Can I do it? And I've had days where I gave up. But I'm still here, and I'm still fighting the best way I can. And with the help of my friends and family and proper help out there, and you guys who are always there from across this world, we have one thing in common. We've united as a group to face one thing, to knock at the stereotype of it, to stand up and be able to be brave enough to look at people and say, yeah, I have a mental illness. You might think it's all in my head. Technically, it is. You see the world different than I do, and that's okay. we'll just have to learn with it. Tired of hiding. Tired of it. And this group, especially all the work that Jamie has been putting into this, you know, not getting paid, all the effort that he does to have this group up and running, and for us to all be united to one, kudos. Unbelievable. I just wanted to put it out there for anybody else, and like I said, if anybody needs to chat, vent, cry, throw something at, you are more than welcome to look me up on Facebook and message me, and I'll definitely be there to answer. I don't have all the answers. I'll never have all the answers. But if you just need that friend with an ear, I'm definitely here. And I just want to thank each and every one of you who have the courage to come and discuss and to be open and finally tell people about your struggles besides a doctor, and the courage that it took each and every one of you to do it is remarkable. And there are still some people that are on that line of debating if they have the courage or not to come forward with their stories. You don't have to tell your full story. You can just tell part of it. Or none. You can just say you've had a bad life. Either way, we'll back you up and we'll be on that line with you. And when you're ready to make that step forward across that line, we'll all be here with you to hold your hand when that time comes. And to everybody, that time. So, I want to wish you all a good night. Love you from the good old rock of Newfoundland. Stretch it far and wide. And like I said, here for anybody that needs anything. And Francisca, thank you. Awesome. And hugs and kisses to everybody.